mics will pick up your leftovers.
All right, and welcome to podcast number 3 featuring The Breach. We're going to start off with an easy question. Give us your name, the instrument you play, and how long you've been with the band.
Dwight, I play guitar, and as long as we've been together, so a year or two.
Yeah, Mac, the drummer, same time.
Jeff, guitar player.
Dave, I sing and play bass, and yeah, since it all started.
Yeah, we all started together.
Yep.
And how did this band get started?
Who wants to take it?
Well, Dwight and I were in a band called the Edgies with some friends, and then that broke up. So we started to jam some other tunes. We found Jeff on Craigslist, I think. And we
Casual encounter section.
Casual encounters.
M for M.
I wasn't going for it. But I said, let's play music instead.
Yeah, we weren't sure, but
He catfished us, but whatever.
yeah. But no, we were playing some of his old band, the Lawn Darts from New Jersey, which is a great band. Playing some of their tunes, and we were just messing around, and then all of a sudden we found Dave, and we wrote songs like instantly.
We didn't find Dave. We recruited Dave.
Or recruited Dave.
We needed a singer.
It was 800 Octane's leader, great band, and once we got Dave, everything took off, and we just started writing songs, and here we are.
That's been totally fun.
Yep.
Now, you have often been mentioned as coining the term Dad Cor. Explain that to us. What exactly is Dad Cor?
Well, it's kind of something I guess I made up to kind of describe us. We're dads who play and love hardcore, even though we're dads. And I know a lot of people in this boat, especially back in New Jersey, where I originally came from. There seems to be an undying punk scene all over the country, and punk's one of those kind of music, types of music where it doesn't really matter how old you are, like blues or jazz or one of those kind of things where, you have to quit after you're 25 or whatever. But we are all dads. We all have jobs and responsibilities, but we still play music because we love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on top of that, all of us had been in bands that had toured and had been playing all the time and had not been able to really do that once we'd had kids and families. And, it does kind of take a bite out of what you can just go do. So in my case, we hadn't really been playing anymore, and I missed it. And when we got together, it was kind of this underlying basic premise that we were going to be dads first and do the band around that. So with that, we may not play as much as other bands or as much as we get offered to or as much as we even want to sometimes, but it allows us to all do what we love and still be with our families.
And it's a family first ethos.
Yeah.
That's kind of our thing. So.
And what do your families think of what you do for fun?
My kids love it. I got teenage boys, and my kids are cruising around with Black Flag and Descendant shirts and everything else, and
Right on.
my kids love it. They think my buddies are awesome. My 16-year-old went and saw us play down in Salem. You had recently done a podcast with Hideous Monster, and we played with those guys down in Salem. And he was the first one up there right after the show, gave me a huge hug and was like, I had no idea you guys were that good.
That's worth it.
Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean? You hear us play every week in the house? And he goes, yeah, but that's different.
Yeah.
And so, having your kids actually dig what you do is pretty fun.
My little 6-year-old son was at that show, and he had never
That's
seen
right.
anything before like
He
that.
was like the sickest.
Yeah, it was so crazy.
thrasher out there. He was pitting.
My son's the same age.
He was running around.
My son's the same age as Dave's kids, and basically, they get freaked out a little bit when they see me playing. They don't understand that, there's two sides of Dad. There's Dad, and then there's Dad, the punk rocker. So,
Right.
but little by little, as they're getting older and they're seeing videos and things like that, they're kind of enjoying it more and understanding it more.
Yeah, my kids don't really. I don't think they're that interested in it, but they came and saw me play in the Ramones cover band, Little Bottomin, name drop.
Jesus, I knew that was coming.
My other band, but yeah, they like it.
Wait, what is it, a person who plays drums in all the band? Oh, a drum whore. That's right.
I'm Macam for hire.
All drummers.
I just quit a band, so I'm not for hire. dedicated to these guys. And a lot.
Yeah, it's often been said you're not a real Portland punk unless you're playing in at least 3 bands.
That's right.
3 to 5. Yeah. Especially
So,
Ken Drum.
what inspires you guys to do what you do? What makes you get up and do it week in and week out?
For me, it's just that I love doing it, and I can't imagine not doing it. Like, there was a period of time where, I don't think there really was ever a serious time, though, where my wife ever said, that's it, you're done, we're not playing music anymore. I think she understands it's really important to me, and so do my kids. And as long as it's not, like, costing us money or something like that, it's okay. We can...
I just play for drink tickets.
Yeah, I mean, or as long as they deem that it's worthwhile, and there have been bands I've played in that they've said, this isn't worth it, can you not play in that band anymore? But so far, the Breach is okay, so I haven't hit any walls.
Well, we're all pretty nice guys, you know what I mean? Everybody's pretty cool.
Everyone's got a seriousness of purpose, I think, and that's really what it is.
All right. Now, you mentioned earlier not being able to play as often as you'd like or tour. Have you been on any major tours so far?
Nope.
We did one of our first shows, though. Well, ironically, we just did our first show last May 1st, not this past one, but last year. And like in August, we got on a bill with Fear, which was like a real coup at the Wonder Ballroom.
Channel 3, too, which is a great band.
Yeah.
Channel 3 was so good.
And I was honored just to be asked, and it was just a great time and a great experience. But I think part of that also comes, we've all done big shows like that before, so it was not really a new thing, but it was a new thing for this band, and it was cool.
Van Halen came calling once, but we were like, nah, it's cool.
Sorry, Van.
Sorry, Van.
I got a PTA meeting that night.
Sorry, Mr. Halen.
Dad Cor's getting in the way.
So, if the offer to tour did come along, what would the answer be?
It would have to
It'd be really
worthwhile.
hard, yeah, with all of our
If-
jobs
if,
and stuff.
if, put it this way, if the Descendants called us up and they were like, can you do 5 dates with us?
We would do it.
We would do it a West
6
Coast
though,
or something.
hell no.
You know what I mean?
6,
Like,
7.
if
We
you
have a
wanna go to the
limit, yeah.
Midwest,
But we
you know.
also, we also want to make sure, and this, is something else that's coming up, but we want to make sure we have something that we can kind of promote too. So like, playing shows is great, but if you've got nothing you can leave with the audience,
Yeah.
that's different. So right now we are getting together our stuff and putting out more music, and that's kind of what we're concentrating on.
T-shirts, music, beer koozies.
Q and the Q's.
We could probably put out 2 albums with the songs that we have written, and we just done demos. We have a recording studio, and then our studio, it's good enough, whatever, and we can do like really good demos. But we want to go in and have like a legit album done, and we just have to make time. It's the whole dad thing, though. It's annoying.
Oh, yeah. Finding time, especially for the long hours of studio recording, can be a real pain, even if you don't have family obligations or work or anything along those lines.
Yep.
So here's a question for you. If you had the opportunity to open for any band or musician, active or retired, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Oh, I think I want to open up for Eddie Murphy, Delirious Tour. And that shit would be fire, dude, because then I could sit on the side of the stage and watch Eddie Murphy. That's mine, so.
All right. Yeah.
And or Minor Threat, I don't know, either way.
Minor Threat would be a good one, yeah.
Minor Threat, 1981.
Yeah. I don't know, we already opened for Fear, so I'm kind of, that's pretty much my
You're
thing.
good.
I'm
Yeah,
good. I'm
that's
already
pretty
done.
badass.
Actually, we opened for MDC too, that was cool.
It was cool, too.
But I would like to, who else would, we want to open for the new Black Flag, yeah.
Jeff, you've played with the Descendants before, haven't
I
you?
played with All, actually. My old band, the Lawn Darts. We traveled out to Colorado 2 years for their punk fest that they did out there, and that was great. But I've never played with the Descendants proper. But I know those guys, and who knows, maybe that dream could come
That would
true.
be a good one for us, man.
Descendants would be a good one.
We'd
for
fit in
us,
with
yeah.
that, too. That'd be
Yeah.
good stuff, man.
Similar ideology.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate, like the band that I kind of grew up with and were heroes to me was the Misfits, of course, and my old band got to do that several times, so we were fortunate to get to that point where I felt like I can die happy now. But I think if I could put together any band I'd like to play with, I would like to go back in time and play the Ramones, like
That would be-
79.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
okay.
Something like, yeah.
Yeah, good answer, Dave.
Ramones.
Good
There you
answer,
go.
good answer.
That's actually been a fairly common answer to this question. A lot of people point to the Ramones.
Well, they started what we do.
Yeah.
Where would it be without that?
The
You
kind of
know,
music
Pretty much.
we like and
Ramones,
play,
Radio
so-
Birdman, some of those bands, Iggy, and the Stooges, you know, the Dolls, they all set the premises, but the Ramones were like the first authentic punk band, even though they wouldn't say they're a punk band.
They're a pop band.
Plus,
They are, but
you had to be a little bit of a better musician than I am to play with some of those other bands. The Ramones you could learn those
Yeah.
songs.
No, we'd be the only musicians at the Eddie Murphy show, though.
That's
no,
true.
the
No.
Bus Boys played that.
You clearly haven't heard Eddie Murphy's Boogie in Your Butt song.
My girl wants to party all the time.
There you go. He's a musician.
Yeah, anyway, let's get off that thing. What's next?
So, as far as playing here in town, what would be your favorite venue to play?
I'd like to play Doug Fur, but
Doug Ford would be awesome. Crystal Ballroom.
Crystal Ballroom.
Oh, the Crystal would be pretty great.
We like small venues like Twilight Cafe, Jimmy Armstrong's place.
Yeah, great venue.
Great venues, great sound.
Just even
Ken Club, you know.
the camaraderie of places, I think, is more important than necessarily having pristine sound and, you know.
We're more into like the community aspect of the punk scene, rather than like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
we're lucky to be playing Doug Fur for some band that's we never heard of, but super popular. Or
I'll
whatever.
give a shout out to David Street
David Street, we played Bunk Bar, and he's awesome. He's
and
great.
Dante's, and he did that
Dante's,
too.
yeah.
And he makes us sound
Awesome.
just amazing. And so we're hoping actually he records our album for us.
Yeah, we're trying
And,
to convince him to do it maybe in September.
I was supposed to reach out to him today and yesterday. I've just been really busy.
If you're
Yeah.
watching this, David.
Yeah, David.
Anyway, we shout out to him because I think he does the best live sound in town. And
Yeah.
so really, any of the clubs where he's running the board, happy to play. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a backyard somewhere as long as he's
As long
behind
as
the
Dave's
mixer.
on the board, dude, I'd be like, yeah, I'll play that. Because he's really good.
Yeah.
I have to say that since the demise of the Ash Street Saloon, the Twilight's kind of taken over as the elder statesman of clubs here in town.
Yeah. It's easier to get to as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
don't even have to park it, you know, it's got a lot and everything.
You know, there was a period of time a few years ago where venues were closing down left and right, and it pretty much started when Satyricon went under, and
Yeah.
it was just all downhill from there,
Yeah.
culminating when the Ash Street closed. That was a big blow to
Ash
the
Street was
community.
great. We loved Ash Street. We didn't play
Yeah,
it, but we
I've played the Ash
individually
Street a million
different
times,
bands.
yeah, and that place was cool though. I always liked that one. Yeah, you got weird, random people who would walk in at the Ash Street gig, man. They'd be like frat dudes on like a boys' weekend who would pop into your show, and you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
just different.
Their former doorman, Barrett, who's
Barrett.
now working at Bit House Saloon, shout out to them,
You know, Barrett, yeah.
has regaled me with tales of the odd people to wander into the Ash Street from time to time. On the topic of weird things, what is the craziest thing that has happened at one of your gigs?
There hasn't been much craziness. I don't know.
Other than at Wonder Ballroom, I had a Spinal Tap-esque moment where it was getting ready for our time to go up and play, and I had been down in like the dressing room, and I made like a wrong turn, and I was like walking around the back of the theater, and one of the ladies there was just like, that way. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
You have to follow the arrows on the floor
Yeah.
type thing.
And I just kind of parted the curtains, and there I was.
Give an
Yeah.
old 800 octane story, man.
I got set on fire once.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this
Yeah,
we've got to hear.
It's kind of a bizarre moment. We were playing, and I had this old pair of jeans that had like ratty knees, and had little strings.
You bought them in Hot Topic.
No, they actually legitimately wore out. Like, not the kind of pants you buy now for 10 times more.
Yeah, $1,000.
But I don't know, the way I was playing, they were like not against my skin, and somehow I don't know what happened. Like somebody's cigarette or whatever it was, but something caught one of the strands on fire, and it started the whole back side and side of my pants on. And it's only when I realized my hand's burning, I looked over and flames come to the side of me. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Trying to pour. No, I just like grabbed the pitcher of water next to me and just poured it all over myself.
You thought it was like Nicky
Kept going
Six
here.
back
It's like,
in the
what
early
the
days of
hell
Motley
was
Crue.
that? I'm like, I have no idea, dude. I just spontaneously combusted or something.
Your own personal Michael Jackson moment.
Yeah.
There you go.
Could have been tragic if I'd had hair to burn off.
In the 90s in Bend, which is when I first met Dave. I was playing in a band called Thrust, and we did, you know, kind of old skate punk sort of stuff. And we played with Poison Idea, and Jerry
Great band.
lit the ceiling on
Jerry
fire.
did his thing.
Jerry blows flames.
So
Yeah,
he
he's
blows
like,
flames, and the ceiling, it was this kind of ceiling too, but, well, not even stained, kind of like yours. It lit on fire. And it's in this little club. It was called the Evil Sister, and everybody's like, oh, shit. And so all these drunks start throwing beers on it because that's anybody had in their hand. that was actually pretty fun. You know, like we almost all died in a freaking
Perished all the
ceiling
great
fire
light.
because
Fire.
Jerry.
Cool
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Poison Idea is still a great band, although they're getting ready to finally retire. Great Portland band. Shout out to Jeff Walter and Jerry and those guys.
Yeah, Jeff
Yeah.
I've known for ages,
Yeah.
since, well, when he played with Savior back in the 80s.
Jeff Walter, yeah.
Yeah.
Also Chartbusters, another good band.
Oh, yes. They're a lot of fun. Yeah, Portland can have some odd things happen from time to time. So you mentioned going into the studio. What is your songwriting process? What's the creative process behind putting out a new song for you guys?
I think usually one of us will come in with like a riff, and then the rest of us will develop it together, and then like Dave might have a melody ready, or maybe he needs to go away and work on it a little bit, but usually we'll be able to knock something out the first time we do it, and then we always, over the next few weeks, improve upon it.
Actually,
Yeah,
it's
that's pretty-
easier in this band than it has been in pretty much almost any band I've been in. You know, if somebody throws something out, everybody else kind of knows where they're supposed to be. And the crux is always the melody and all that. Cheney hammers that stuff out, and it's, you know, I don't understand what he's saying usually.
Hell, I don't even know.
Because, yeah, that's why he refused to write down his lyrics, by the way. No, but it's really good, though. We can, if somebody throws something out, usually within several minutes or so, it's kind of like written, and now it's just, you know, fine kind of tuning and arranging. So,
We're not overly complex,
no,
so it's pretty basic songwriting techniques.
Somebody usually runs one of our phones just to kind of get like a rough take of it.
So we remember it.
So we remember it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Technology.
Yeah. And then, you know, because it's Dad Cor, we only get together about once a week or so. So then it's like somebody will take their phone, put it back into a mic, you kind of listen to it, and we go, oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
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 yeah. I
that's
remember
right,
now
that's
that
right,
part,
that's
yeah.
right, that's right. And then, you know, you fine tune it, and over a couple sessions, it's like dialed, you know. And I don't know, the overthinking, Cheney brought that one in. We all kind of helped him finish it up in the final arrangement, and I think we played it a couple days later, you know,
Yeah, I
at
think we
at
were-
a show.
Midway Music.
Yeah,
Oh,
in Salem. Yeah, it was like 3 days
Yeah.
later. It's like, you guys want to play that song? And it's actually one of my favorite songs now in our set. So
Yeah.
How long is a typical set for you?
Short.
40 minutes, 30 minutes, depends.
Yeah.
You know,
Depends on if we do a cover.
we're in and out, dude.
play
We have
about
enough
12.
for like an hour or so, but we usually, the places we play want us to play 35, 40 minutes. So.
12, 13 songs, you know.
Yeah. And I'm still a believer, like, don't overplay.
Agreed.
Like,
Agreed.
I don't care if it's my favorite band in the world. After about an hour and something, I'm like, all right, come on, something
All right.
else.
All
I
right.
just don't, it doesn't capture my attention. Like, unless we had some exotic stage show with lights and all the things that, you know, arena rock can pull off for, like, to make a show last 2 hours. But, like, if you're just in a little club and
Metallica have
it's
drones
just
flying
like,
around and stuff.
yeah, it's just like, let's just play some good songs and be done.
Agreed. Agreed. And I think most people appreciate that, by the way.
Yeah, that's-
knock out a half-hour set and call it good.
That's kind of what happened at the Murder Junkie show a couple of months ago. At the end, Dino played a 15-minute drum solo, naked as usual.
Of course, he's
And by about 5 minutes in, I was like, okay, can we move this along now?
Right.
Love the guy to death, but he will go on if you let him.
Yeah, the ghost of Gigi should have come on and ended it. Throw some
Cut
pieces
the
out or something.
microphones.
Knock it off.
Where are you, Gigi?
Speaking of the Gigi Allin, does anybody here went to his last show here in Portland back in 91?
No, but I heard about it
Mandatory.
back in New Jersey. There was like all this, because he was kind of big on the Lower East Side in New York, and whenever he played there, a bunch of my friends would go. I never got to go, but that was infamous. It made, like, as soon as that show happened and there was all the controversy and all the craziness that surrounded it, it made its way back to the East Coast like instantly, before there was, you know, any kind of internet or any kind of cell
Yeah.
phones or anything like that.
Yeah. And I didn't live out here then, but we still had ties to some of those, that world. Like my old band in North Carolina was playing shows with Anti-Scene, and which was like with Jeff Clayton and guys that were all tied with Gigi Allen and the Murder Junkies, played a few shows with them. So they were always super nice guys for as crazy as they were. Like, they came over to our house, like, oh God, it's like 94 maybe. And they were super polite, helped do the dishes, like clean up, it's like, whoa,
It's never what it
Merle
seems,
Allen
you know
is
what I mean?
actually not a bad dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, often the stage personas will not match how they are in real life. Zeke, for example, are known for being very high energy, but after a show at Satyricon, I had them come back to my house, and rather than party, they just curled up, went to sleep.
I love that band.
They were a lot of fun. So as far as local bands, who do you like to play with? Who's inspiring to you nowadays?
Who have we played with?
Yeah, who have we played
Other
with
than NBC's
recently?
local, so we played with them. But
But I mean,
we like 48 Thrills. We played with them once. I don't know how long.
They
James
were,
Band.
even when 800 Octane was playing, 48
those
Thrills.
guys have been great for a long
Yeah,
time.
Josh
And-
and Ken.
And Jimmy really deserves a ton of credit for the Portland punk scene in general. Like, booking shows, setting things up is a thankless, horrible job that nobody likes doing, and it generally burns people out. And
Stuff always goes wrong.
oh, it just sucks.
People
And
cancel.
yeah,
Just-
they
yeah.
cancel. Like, it's just nobody lasts and does it for more than a year usually, and he just does it because his heart is in it, and he's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
and he's
true.
always hooked us up.
Shout
Like,
out to Jimmy Armstrong.
Yeah, great
like,
band.
there's-
We like the Watch List too. That's a great.
Watch
band.
List are good friends of ours.
Frank and Tristan and Paul.
And there's some crossover into other bands that some of us have played in with those guys.
Punchers are a rad
Punchers,
new
there's
band.
crossover in there, like just
Shiggy.
a fun, fun kind of super garagey, just like raw rock and roll. Those guys are awesome. You should interview them. That'd be a funny one.
There was a
there's a lot of great Portland bands that we haven't even had the opportunity to play with because we haven't played enough. Like, my friend Diego's in a band called Bourbon Legends that we're
Yeah,
excited to
Bourbon
play
Legends
with,
is a
and
Bomb Squad.
yeah, there's a ton.
Bomb
Like,
Squad.
so
What's the
Oh, they
Sadists.
changed their name. The Mormon Trannies. What are they called?
the Latter-day Skanks.
man.
That'd be great to play with them.
Well, we did. We played with them at the Hawthorne
Oh, yeah.
on 39th and Hawthorne, and I love that band, dude. Those guys are
Knuckles and
guys
Jody
and
and
Jody, but
Titty Babies.
they throw down. Titty Babies are
Titty
fun.
Babies are great.
I invited some friends out to a show, and we played with the Titty Babies, and like 2 or 3 of them bought shirts. They were like, "I love this band." I'm like, "All right," you know.
There's a lot of good punk bands in Portland right now, and
Yeah.
That's
all you got to
fun.
do is go out like almost any night of the week, and you'll find one.
Coming from New Jersey, where like it's supposed to have this great scene, when I moved out here like 2 years ago, I was blown away. Like, everyone complains out here. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people complain. Oh, the scene is dead. To me, this scene is like one of the best scenes I've ever played in. So I'm totally appreciative of the
I think
fact
it's
that
coming back. To be
people-
honest, like,
people here like to go out, and they can afford to go out, and they seem to like to have a good time. And
Yeah.
Tiger
The shows are
Touch.
cheap,
Tiger
too,
Touch
you
is good. Love Sores are great. Girl Drink Drunks, whatever.
You guys threw down Chartbusters earlier. I haven't played with them,
Chartbusters,
but
I would like to
they-
play with them.
They seem like a great band.
Yeah, there's
oh,
just,
they are, and real nice people too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tony's cool. There's just a lot of bands that are, and then nobody makes any money. Nobody cares. They just want to get up there and rock, and everybody's cool with each other. You don't.
everyone
You
appreciates
don't.
each
It's
other.
not like you're in a competition with each other. You're just helping each other out. You're sharing drum sets. You're sharing amps.
Moving gear on and off
You
the
know.
stage to make
Yeah.
it go smoother.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of does that.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any interband rivalries in years. It just doesn't happen here.
Nah,
Yeah.
it's more like the metal crowd. It seems like that's more in that scene. I remember I played in metal bands in the 90s and stuff.
no
and-
way.
Oh, yeah.
Me too. But I look like him.
But it was always like
hair was fake, man.
it was always like a big contest, like who's going to be the coolest, who has the best outfit, and whose tone is the purest. And it's just like after a
Leave
while.
that shit at the door, man. It's
And to answer that question, Jeff had the coolest outfit.
I always do. No, I always had the coolest tone. My outfit was
Rhinestone
what I wear.
jumpsuit, baby.
It's what I wear now.
Jeff is a badass guitar player, though.
Oh,
Yeah, we're very
100%,
lucky.
100%.
I think I could safely say that this is, musician-wise, probably the best band I've ever played in, pound for pound. Other bands have had great musicians, but everybody here kind of contributes, so that's what I like.
Same.
Yeah, it's been
Same,
really
dude.
fun.
I'll say that same thing, man. I'm the worst player in the band, and it's like, legitimately, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't even suck, and I'm the worst one.
Once
He
in a while
is.
we'll
He
go
is
to
the
a
worst one.
I am, dude.
Mahavishnu Orchestra jam.
Jazz
so
Odyssey.
kinda
You're
like
still
that.
thinking band names, aren't you?
We already have a band name.
No,
Jazz Odyssey, though, I like that.
Jazz Odyssey. And Puppet
No.
Show.
You mentioned the punchers earlier. There was a lineup. Show was just a few days ago. The sadists, the punchers, and the customers. And somebody commented it sounded like the checkout line at Walmart.
You were at that show.
No, I didn't know. We were supposed to play that show.
I think
Customers
they
are from
asked
Oakland,
us
my
to
hometown.
play, yeah, and we just
Yeah.
couldn't swing it. I
I'm
was
sure.
I was out of town.
Yeah.
I was riding dirt bikes in the Idaho wilderness or something. I don't know, man.
Can't complain about that.
Yeah, I was out of town.
Doing the dad thing.
Doing the
They're
dad
doing
thing.
that thing. you know,
Doing other shit I like.
punk like
So,
that.
So what have you got by way of upcoming shows?
We don't.
I don't
We
think
don't
we-
record. No,
We
don't have
actually
anything.
turned down a lot of shows recently just so we can kind of
I've turned
get
down 3 or 4 shows recently. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we can get our recording done, and then also, this is the summer. It's when most of the family stuff is. Kids are out of school. Like that's where you take your kids on vacation, and it's hard. Like if you have a show on Saturday, and like in my case, like I'm divorced, so I have my kids on those weekends, and so having a show on Saturday like impacts my ability to go and do anything with them out of town. So
Right.
we don't try and do a lot in the summer. And then Dwight's kids are like he has one about to go off to college.
next
so
week,
so,
my oldest goes to college.
so you try and get the most time you can then, and
Yeah.
then when it gets rainy and people want to be inside, then they can come see our shows.
Shout out to C. Davis Reed, University of Hawaii. Go Warriors.
And that's why I think we're going to shoot to record in September, because we're going to be a pretty quick study. We know the songs pretty well. We could pretty much get it done. We'd like to have something out this year if we could. So that would be
Yeah.
like the best time, I think.
And then
We
we're
should
going
be able
to
to
sign to a
have this.
label and get sponsored by Vans because we all wear Vans.
That's right.
And
I could use some free sneakers.
Breach Sneaks. I like it. Dude.
Breach Sneaks.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
There we go.
Now, once you do have the album out, are you looking to go the traditional route, vinyl and CD, or are you going to go more the modern route of putting it on SoundCloud and Bandcamp, that sort of thing?
Well, Jeff is wanting to push the 8-track formula, but we're
I'm
not.
thinking cassettes.
I still have my 8-track player, and I think
course.
everyone else does.
I want to put vinyl out.
Reel to reel.
So it's like, and I have a reel to reel. I could probably dig up an 8-track somewhere in my house.
But I think vinyl
We've
and
got
like I own
digital
one of
is the way
everything,
to go.
so-
Yeah, I don't think there's really a need to do CDs. And
Nah.
how many
CDs
cars
are-
have CDs players in them? Standard.
Yeah, not
anymore?
very
Nobody
many.
does.
I don't
So,
have one.
I do, but my car is like 5 years old, so.
Yeah, so probably digital
I
and
might have
some
one in my
vinyl.
5-year-old car, actually. Yeah, you're
Do
right.
some vinyl.
Maybe.
Vinyl and digital seems to be the way, and
Vinyl and digital.
Yeah.
Bandcamp makes it so easy now to, customize, this song is this much and this song is free and whatnot. So it's way different than it was even a couple of years ago, so.
They don't rip you off like Spotify.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it's fine. They can have the music for free, but if they go to a show, they're going to want to buy the record. So.
And even like as vinyl, like it's probably not. A lot of people don't have record players anymore, or they don't. But there's still this appeal to make vinyl because, from the old school thought, like one of the best parts about any record was all the art that you got with it, and looking at the sleeve art and the
Reading
design and the
all-
layout. That's all gone. Like kids don't appreciate. I sound like an old guy. I say kids don't appreciate.
Get off my
But like
lawn!
if you get a CD or a record on digital format, you don't get any of the. I mean, unless you maybe digital download it, but you don't get all of the cool sleeve art, like all the
Open it up and
lyrics. You
roll a
can't.
joint on it,
There's nothing like.
like the old ZZ Top, Trey Songz.
Well, it's just like that was the best part for me. Like, and vinyl
It
still
is.
offers that, and you can do the cool thing like you can do the colored swirly vinyl and all the.
The
So
poster
good.
That's
there,
like-
lyric sheet,
Yeah, like that's the
Yeah.
best part. Like you had something you could actually
stickers.
put your hands on. It made it real.
I buy records at almost every show I go to if the band is, and it might be kind of a bigger band, it might be, at the Roseland or something, and if they have a record and I really like that band, absolutely I'll buy it. Hell, if they have 3, I'll probably grab all 3, I'm just, I like to collect records. I don't know, been collecting them since I was 6, so, I'm okay with that.
He's got some Donnie Marie records, probably Bay City Rollers, I imagine.
Yeah. Nothing wrong
Probably
with
the
basic
earliest to
rule.
be Sean Cassidy, but whatever, dude.
Do Run. It's our next cover.
Hollow Notes.
I can't go for that.
Okay.
No can do.
Just a man eater.
Right.
Exactly.
All right, so we're rolling up on our 30-minute limit here. Any words for the fans?
Are there? Who are they? Identify yourself.
Come to
Oh,
the
no,
shows,
Come out of the
enjoy.
shadows.
Come out, yeah.
I want to shout out to one person in particular, Naya Caminos. I'm not going to say anything else, but that's it. Naya Caminos.
Yeah, we appreciate everyone who comes and enjoys our stuff, and people who come and check us out, even if they weren't fans before, but they think enough to come up to us at the end of the show and say, hey, that was great. You have anything, that we can take with us or whatever? I always appreciate that.
Yeah, we've been really lucky. Like I always felt like if you do music for yourself and for what you enjoy doing, anybody that likes it too is just a bonus. So like, it's been really fun to get out and play for people that have never seen us. We're all doing something new, or people that liked our old bands that come out and say, hey, this is different, but I really like it. Like, we're just having a good time with it ourselves, and hopefully more people will.
We respond
into
to
it.
enthusiasm,
So.
so we appreciate it.
I'll give the last shout out then to my family for putting up with us playing in the basement every week.
Right?
And
Shout outs to Angela and Caden and Gannon and
Yeah.
they don't only just
Henry
put up with
and-
it, they like it. And they're supportive of it, and they think it's cool that,
And I guess
my
to all of
buddies
our
come over and play.
Yeah, all
so
our
All
families.
of our families who put up with
They-
us doing this Dad Cor
Yeah.
thing and playing shows on a Saturday night when we could be watching Netflix and chilling or something. Shout out to Leanne and
Yep.
Logan and Kyle.
So thanks to the families.
Yeah,
because we are Dad Cor.
that's right.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for your time.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you
us.
for having us. Yeah.